from here.
A very warm welcome back to Saudi Arabia for the final part of this day. We've got 3 absolutely incredible stages to come your way, and those stages have already had a run through. Myself and Mike Chen will be here with you for the next 45 minutes or so.
Is that how long it is?
I know you're really excited to spend that much time with me, so you keep that smile going, young man. All right, well, Chenny and myself are going to be talking you through the media zone interviews that happened with Bex Williams a bit earlier on, as well as just having a chat through everything that has happened today and a bit of the service. You keep that grin going. Okay, well, we are watching Martin Sesks at the moment. He's just getting ready to head out to those stages. It's the 3 stages we saw this morning. We're a little terrified about what those conditions are going to be like in those stages. It's going to be interesting to see.
I think the first 2 are going to be okay. It's the last one that we've got to be concerned about, isn't it? It's going to be incredibly rough, a roller coaster, and you can't second guess what's going to happen. But you know, what a rally so far it's been for these boys and girls down here at M Sport. Martin Sesks doing a superb job, and you know, it would be great to see them end the year on a high, at the very least a podium. But I think now, with the pace that they've shown, you can start to push for more than that, I think, Kiri. So let's see what this afternoon brings for Martins and Renards out there. And that car is set up perfectly as they head out. They haven't really changed anything. It's been a completely routine service, and yeah, they've done a great job as well. Kudos as well to that man over there. If you can just swing that camera around and see the fella there who's hiding behind there with a beard. That's Tristan, who's been engineering the car for Martins this weekend. He's done a superb job, but with the help of Alex, Tim Jackson, Matt Lewis, and everybody else down here at M Sport, they've done a brilliant job. And fingers crossed I don't run into any trouble this afternoon.
All right, well, it is Martin Sesks currently sitting in second. He managed to get that place back off Sami Payari in that last stage of this morning. Now, as I said, we have had media zone interviews. Now all of the cars have left service. They are heading out onto... Have they all left? I think they pretty much have all left. They are all heading out onto those stages. So it's time for us to start bringing those interviews. So let's head into the first of which is with Martin Sesks.
Martins, what a battle we have. We've had a brilliant morning. You've had a brilliant morning. You're into second position now. Okay, you're puffing out your cheeks. You don't think it's been a brilliant morning?
It was a bit tricky for us. We damaged 2 wheels already. There was, I know, a bit nerve-wracking because, for the final stage, it's very rocky as well from the recce, and yeah, we were a bit worried. And in stage like that, you don't know how fast you have to go. So to keep it safe and to still make some time.
It is really difficult for you guys. I think we're all in awe of how you're all dealing with the situations, but you're doing exactly what rally drivers are brilliant at, and that's adapting to the conditions.
I'm trying, I'm always trying.
Talk to me about what it feels like to be in the midst of a battle. That you've got Adrian Formeau, Sami Pari with you in podium position right now. You're separated by a handful of seconds. None of you have won a WRC event before.
No.
It could be any one of the three of you right now, or maybe Mr. Tanak.
He's coming, huh?
He's coming.
No. Let's see. I don't know. For sure, we are trying as much as we can, and yeah, so far it's been all about managing, so we'll try to keep that.
And conditions this afternoon, we've had such different stages, so they're all going to evolve in different ways, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think, again, that's something that we just need to see and understand, because, you know, also from looking on the videos also yesterday and today, with the first cars, the road looks nice, and then when we are coming there from behind, there's already rocks and ruts, so it's not like you can really, be sure what's going on there. Thank you.
Martin says there, now I did tell you a bit of a fib. We've still got a couple of cars in service, and the car behind us, you're obviously looking at Toyota at the moment, Sami Pari, who is now in third place, lost that place, as we said, during the last stage of the day, but it's Adrian Formeau that's behind. He's taken everything so calmly, Adrian Formeau, because at each of the stage ends, he's been told he's lost just a little bit of time, and he's just handled it and said that's okay.
Yeah, I think Adrian Formeau has done a superb job. You can hear the team just running it up through the gears in the background. Nothing to worry about before it goes out into the afternoon. But Adrian's done a superb job, and I always say it, Kiri. You know, you don't go quicker by being negative. He's been so positive, and he's enjoying his rallying. And if you enjoy your rallying, you go quicker, and that's what he's been doing. And he's shown so much incredible maturity. You know, it's brilliant to see Hyundai up the ante and close the gap a little bit towards Toyota. Adrian Formeau doing a brilliant job and absolutely in the fight, but it's the way he's not responding negatively to any of the pressures around him. He's enjoying this event, and I think that's the key for him.
All right, well, we are just looking at Sami Pari on the screens now, so let's just sort of change the way we're looking at it and talk about Sami, because Sami's been running a fantastic weekend as well, but did just lose a bit of time to Martin Sess through that last stage, as we keep saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sami's done a superb job, and again, you can't second guess anything. He's only 4.5 seconds off the lead, isn't he? So Sami's he's there or thereabouts. He had a very, very good day yesterday. He probably would have been leading coming into today had he not had those tyre delaminations. And again, I think for him that's a positive. There's just nothing to choose between Formeau, Sess and Pari at the moment, and for us as WRC fans, it's a brilliant story to continue to follow, and boy does it give us something to look forward to in the future. Formeau, Sess, Pari, they're going to be around for a long time, and they're already making their mark.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think that's the exciting time, isn't it? We're coming to the end of this big battle that we've seen all season between guys that we've seen around for a long time. If Sebastian Ogier takes this championship title, it will be his 9th. But we are now also looking at what could potentially be the next few years of rallying as well, with Sami Pari, Adrian Formeau, Martin Sess. And I mean, I think we've seen this a lot with Adrian Formeau. He's been on the edge of the future for a while, hasn't he? But just to see Sami Pari step up there, and of course Martin Sess, when he made his debut with us in Latvia last year, we were all wowed by him. But then I think it's exactly right. You said he sort of brought his stock value back up here, and I think that's it. He slipped away, I think, a little bit, but now he's really just shown again what we saw originally from him.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have expected Adrian and Sami, based on road position, to be running, you know, certainly at the business end, yeah. and they've done that. Martins has certainly been the surprise, and it gives us, you know, it shows that under these conditions the Puma's quick. So, you know, PK and I were talking about it just a moment ago on the live TV stage. It's brilliant that we've got a Hyundai,
yes.
An M Sport Puma, and a Toyota, a Yaris there. We're separated by just a handful of seconds. It just goes to show how brilliant the sport is, and as I said, a great place it's a great shop window to sell your product.
Yeah, amazing bird's eye shot there of Sami just putting his headphones on, or his headset on, I should say, ready for what is going to be his road section out to the wilderness, out to the desert. So while he heads off up there, let's listen into his interview that he did with Bex Williams.
Sami, third position, 4.5 seconds off the lead right now. It is incredibly close out there. How are you feeling about the morning's work?
Yeah, it's really close. I was already expecting that there would be some bigger time gaps, but yeah, somehow we are able to push quite hard, I guess. So then the margins are not so big, but still mostly without the issues. I mean, all the guys mostly. So yeah, that's how it is.
How exciting is it to be in this battle right now? Because the top three have never won a WRC event. I know Tanak is not too far behind and he is going to be pushing hard, but what's it like as a driver to be within the midst of this incredible battle?
Yeah, of course. I think on the standings there is a proper fight. I just try to focus on my own thing. Like I try to do each stage as well as I can, basically, and then the result is what it is. But yeah, stage by stage, I just do what I can.
Many drivers have talked about the difficulty of the balancing act between pushing but also not wanting to take any risks out there. How difficult is that?
It's difficult. Still, I felt most of the time that I was trying to be clever in the places where I see that I risk to get a puncture or break the car is really high. But also there is many sections where I was doing absolutely all I can. So yeah, still maybe I should take these few places where I was cautious away and just be pushing even more. I don't know. Yeah, I think now the afternoon, it would be a miracle if there was nothing happening now in the afternoon.
Oh, that's a heck of a prediction. Good luck, Sami Bayuri.
There we go. It could be a miracle, yeah. Some just incredible shots as well. I think that's something that we've got to take into account is where they are actually rallying. Just the amazing scenery. This is so far up into the mountains and into the desert. It's just unbelievable to see what they're doing out there.
Yeah, it looks pretty, doesn't it? But when you're in the seat of the car at 60 odd degrees inside there and you're faced with the enormity of the rocks that are thrown at you and all the other various challenges, you can see where Sami's coming from in his interview there as Adrian Fourmeau prepares to go out. He'll be leaving in just a moment, but yeah, you can see where Sami's coming from, and it is a lottery, Kiri. It really is, particularly the final stage of today. We just heard Sami say it will be a miracle if something doesn't happen, and I would have to agree with him. For me, I would love to see the top three, Sami, Martins and Adrian, go into tomorrow, separated by a handful of seconds, and then of course Ogier Rovanpera and Elfyn Evans again in the little group they're in as well. I think that would just give us such a wonderful showdown to what's been a spectacular year. Adrian Fourmeau, he's had a brilliant rally so far, and I certainly hope he has a good afternoon as well.
It's going to be exciting, and I really do think Sami's right. I mean, there's going to be a lot that happens. So you've seen obviously Elfyn Evans, which we'll talk about in a bit, but Elfyn Evans falling short with that puncture. I mean, we saw Kalle Rovanpera with it yesterday. I don't think that's going to be obviously the first or the last. There's going to be more to come, just purely on the fact the rocks are going to have been pulled out, because we've obviously got the WRC 2 and 3. We've not got an enormous field, but there's plenty of cars running through there.
Yeah, so the first two stages I think are going to be all right. We might see.
You've been talking to people.
Well, we might see a few rocks pulled out on the first stage. The second stage is very smooth. It's a fast, more traditional stage. It's almost like 3 rallies in one this afternoon. So the first stage is very sandy. It's the closest we'll get to being in the dunes. We can expect it to have rutted up quite a lot after the first run through. So that'll have changed certainly, but very soft, very sandy. The second one much smoother, quite a hard base, not particularly abrasive. There's quite a lot of jumps and kickers in there, so an opportunity. We actually saw it this morning to pick up damper damage. And then the third stage is just incredibly rough, and there's going to be a huge amount of rocks that are pulled out. That's the one to be concerned about.
Okay, well, that is what is to come for you. We will listen into the interview that Adrian, now he's back out and onto the road section, that Adrian did with Bex.
Adrian, you continue to lead Rally Saudi Arabia, but it has got very close out there between you and 3 other drivers.
4. No, 3.
3.
Yeah.
I thought
we have 4.
My maths is a little bit better than yours. You're a better driver than me, but my maths is better. I'm happy with that. It's getting intense out there, right?
Yeah, it's quite intense, but also you see already that 2 drivers had a puncture on the last one, so the risk is quite there. To be fair, I'm surprised, and the others pushing as they are, they don't get more trouble with the punctures, etc. But for my side, I just managed what we've got, and I really avoid the risk of puncture. So sometimes I lose quite a lot of time in some corners, but that's the approach I want to have for this rally.
Yeah, we kind of noticed that in the previous stage where your splits were dropping relative to the others, but then you were picking up pace again. So you're obviously managing the stage.
Exactly. When there was some really rough places with a lot of loose rocks, then I start to slow down a bit, be a bit kind with it, and then push again. So yes, I lose a bit of time, but it's the approach I want to have. I stick with it since the beginning, and we are still leading, so it's not so bad.
Same question as I've asked Martins and Sammy, really. You're in an incredible battle. I know Oitanek is well within that battle as well, but for you three drivers, never won a WRC event before, and you're all in podium position right now. What's it like to be part of this battle?
It's really nice, but at the end I just want to have it.
Well, of course. I have to ask you about your positivity, because we've seen such maybe a different attitude from you from the second half of the season onwards. Attitude-wise, mindset-wise, it's changed. You talked about using a sports psychologist earlier in the year. Is that the reason why?
Yeah, but also I realize that every time I'm enjoying in the rallies, then I increase also my performance. So I just decide now to optimize the small details and just enjoy for the rest. So actually, even if I slow down sometimes, I'm still enjoying it. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, there we go. And exactly what Bex was sort of asking him is what we talked about, that positivity. Yeah, because sometimes you can, I reckon it can rile you a bit. A station reporter sticks a mic in as, oh, well, that wasn't very good. Oh, you've lost that. And that's the first thing you hear. You've just done 30 Ks of a stage. Oh, you lost 3 seconds in there. And Adrian just, yeah, that's great, because I was avoiding the rocks. That's what I meant to do.
Yeah, he's managing the situation superbly, and he's just getting on and driving his own rally. And like you said, there was more pace there if he wanted it. He was just aware of all of the rocks, so he's played a blinder there, and the positive mental attitude has been around for a long, long time, and it's there for a reason. It's true. No matter what you're doing, be it going rallying a car, be it going circuit racing, whatever, you'll only go quicker by being positive about the situation. So much of this sport is in your head. It's why these drivers, these top flight drivers, go and see sports psychologists, Kiri, and having your head in the right place and looking for the positives is so important. And Adrian has just said himself there, if I'm enjoying my rallying, if I'm feeling positive about the things that are going on around me, positive stuff happens. And he's proof of that. He's had a brilliant morning, and I think he's just absolutely had a really good attitude in the second half of this season.
Okay, well, that's our top three in terms of the battle. Martin says, Sami Payari and Adrian Formo, they've switched and swapped around places a lot. We, of course, saw that it was Martin Sess leading our rally yesterday. Then he made that mistake. He dropped down to third. He's now back into second. Those boys are going to be doing some more switching and swapping, I am sure of it, this afternoon. But now down to the serious business of the championship title fight. Well, it all sort of falls at Toyota's doors at the moment. Yesterday, Kalle Rovanperä seemingly took himself a little bit out of the game. He's 24 points off Elfyn. But then today, with the puncture for Elfyn, the mistake yesterday didn't help, the puncture today. But it's not all done.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Look, let's start with Kalle Rovanperä yesterday, picking up that puncture, drop back. He's now been... he's pulled the pin out of the grenade, lobbed it in, he's flat out, and it's paying off. He's now, his next target, he's got himself ahead of Elfyn Evans. His next target is to get himself not just ahead of Ogier, but ahead of Katsuta, ahead of Neuville and Tanak. Then he draws himself back into the championship fight. These pictures we're seeing here now are Elfyn Evans with his rear left puncture that he picked up just going into the final stage of the loop. He changed that, himself and Scott Martin changed that tyre in less than 96 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Incredible, particularly in the heat. It was a textbook tyre change. And by getting that right, they have kept themselves in the fight, because they've dropped back behind Gregoire Munster, but they're only 12 seconds back.
They should get that back.
So if they get ahead of Gregoire Munster again, so far as the championship is concerned, all right, yes, they're over a minute behind Sebastian Ogier now because of the
points,
puncture.
isn't it?
The point system doesn't change, Kiri, which makes tomorrow vital. So that's why I say I really hope that we go into tomorrow with Elfyn, Seb and Kalle having not had a problem this afternoon, because then it's a proper showdown, it's a fight. For me, I think Ogier's shown spectacular pace. Kalle has shown brilliant pace. Elfyn needs to go in. He's got to stand in front of the mirror and have a good stern word with himself. If he's going to win a championship, now's the time to do it. Kiri, if you finish second or third, it doesn't matter. He's done it 4 times. Get out there. You don't want him to get on the plane on Sunday going, I could have, or I should have. Having finished second or third in the championship. Go hell for leather. Give it everything you've got and go, well, I did my best. And I'm not being hard on Elfyn, because I, for one, would love to see him win a world championship. It would be so good for the sport, but he's quicker than what we've seen so far, and he needs to find that pace, Kiri.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a bit of that caution, you know, that's because he's been heading into those cities. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He knows how close it is. But anyway, whatever, hopefully Chenny's motivational speech, Alvin Evans, has done something for you. There is a nation willing you along, I can promise you that. All right, well, while we're talking about him, Bex, another fellow Welshie, I think she probably gave him a bit of pep talk as well, just spoke to Elvin in that media zone. What did they talk about?
Elvin, I think the quote from you at the stage end was, we picked up a puncture, not ideal, which may be the understatement of the season, but you're not far behind Greg Munster to get back into the position you were before the puncture. All is not lost out there.
No, it's not all lost, but of course it's not great to be that far behind everybody else, let's say. So yeah, obviously it is what it is now, and we have to just do what we can this afternoon and see if we can get back past Gregoire.
12 seconds, or just shy of 13 seconds, should be easily doable for you, I would expect. But we have seen really challenging stages out there today, and you were off the pace of Rovanperä today. He has extended that advantage, and of course even more so now. What was the mindset this morning when you were seeing those times coming in?
Yeah, I think the first stage this morning didn't go so well. It was very sandy, and I've been struggling quite a bit in the sand. The second one wasn't so bad on the whole. But yeah, obviously otherwise, it's come to that after the puncture. So,
talk to me a little bit more about that puncture, where that was picked up. I know it was early on in the stage, but there was a lot of loose rocks there. Obviously, you just clipped one of them.
No idea where it came from. We had the alarm, and Scott was monitoring it. It was coming down fairly quickly, so we had to just take the decision to change it.
Yeah, and it is a big decision in this kind of situation right now, isn't it? And it was the right one to take.
Yeah, I hope so. You never really know. I always have a small doubt with these things, but yeah, I think it was far too long to try to drive.
There's still a long way to go in this rally yet, Elvin, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's not all lost yet, but of course, it's getting harder by the minute.
Thank you.
It's not all lost, yeah, indeed. Sorry, struggling to hear you just a little bit. We've got a bit of a brigade out there. We are just having a look at Elvin. This was shot earlier on, of course, as Elvin got ready to head out to the stage. So getting his cooling vest on, which is all important. These are different things to perhaps you're seeing at other rallies. Now, we were talking about the heat comparison to perhaps here and Greece, but in fact today just feels so much hotter than we've experienced anything this year.
It's closer, isn't it? That's for sure. But listen, when they're in the car, the adrenaline's flowing. They're fine. I haven't actually heard many of the drivers complaining about the heat. Elvin there saying it's getting harder by the minute. He needs to stop that. You've got to take the same approach as Adrian Fourmeau. If he gets ahead of Gregoire Munster, Sébastien Ogier goes in tomorrow leading the championship by 1 point. It's still 100% game on. Go and have a good head wobble tonight and dig deep tomorrow, and he can still do this.
Yeah, I think he can, and that's, I think, Sammy was saying, it'll be a miracle if there's not anything happening this afternoon. So wait and see. If you are doing anything today, if you've got anything planned, I suggest that you just stop that business, yeah? And you settle down, because we have got 3 incredible stages on the way for you. So, of course, we were talking about Calais as well as talking about Seb. So shall we have a chat about Seb next? The man's a beast, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Sébastien Ogier, I think he's done an incredible job. He's so smart, Kiri. He knows how to win rallies. He knows how to win championships. On that final stage of the loop, Elvin Evans had a puncher. Kalle Rovanperä had a puncture. Sébastien Ogier didn't have a puncture. You know, he knows what he's got to do. He knows when to pull the trigger, and he knows when to back off. It comes from years of experience and just being naturally very, very good. And you know, I said it to you yesterday, Sébastien Ogier is on some of the best form of his life. You have to go back to 2016. That was the last time that he took 6 rally wins. This year he's taken 6 rally wins, so he's equaled that. Now I think it's going to be a struggle to win here in Saudi Arabia to better that, but you've got to go back to 2016, the Volkswagen days. That's how good Sébastien Ogier has been this year, and that ultimately is what Elvin Evans and Kalle Rovanperä are up against, and he's so wily, he's so clever, so it doesn't come as any surprise to me at all that Sébastien Ogier has managed this situation.
Also, you know, when we're talking about this mental attitude, Ogier has this sort of aura around him that we always go, it's Sébastien Ogier. nothing phases him, but also he's just sort of, he creates this thing that
Yes.
sort of moves him forwards, and it's amazing, and everyone says it, even if you don't mean to, even if you talk about what's happening to somebody at home. Oh, well, it's Ogier, isn't it?
Absolutely.
He's just got
Sebastian Loeb had the same thing.
Yeah.
And the only person for me, even Kalle Rovanperä, who's naturally one of the most gifted drivers, he doesn't have the same aura about him that Loeb and Ogier have got. So yes, I get that. And of course, that'll give him confidence as well, because he'll know it. Of course he will. Drivers have egos. Yeah. How big you choose to make it to the public is down to you and how you play it. But he'll know he's got that aura. And he's going for his 9th world title.
Yeah.
He should have that aura about him. He's one of the greatest we've ever seen plonk his backside in the seat of a rally car.
And I should say how important it is. So I'm talking about for a nation at home, for Elfyn Evans as well. My dad's not very well at the moment, and I was just talking to him, not talking about himself. He goes, "What's Elfyn doing?" Yeah. Straight away wants to know. Everybody wants to know. So this is a big deal right now. So definitely not to be going anywhere else. All right, we've been talking about Seb. So let's have a listen into what he said to Bex Williams.
Seb, still advantage you in the bid for the title right now. I know there's still such a long way to go in this rally, and as we've seen already this morning, anything can happen out there. How are you feeling right now about your chances?
Oh, equal as when you go to play at the casino, I would say. So that's the way it is. But so far, we stay out of trouble.
Would you be a blackjack man then, or a roulette? What would you pick?
I never go in this kind of things. That's not really my stuff.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of element of lottery out there, but as rally drivers, you adapt to conditions. That's what you guys do the best. We've certainly seen that so far.
But you cannot do anything in there. It's just take the risk if you want to go fast, but you can't control anything about that. So it's just pure luck, basically. And I'm not willing to play with that.
We saw and we heard from you at stage ends that you said you weren't ready to take the risk. There was an element of caution in there. And 3 very different stages to play with out there today. We started off in the desert again. Then, as some of the other drivers have described, a more traditional stage in the middle.
Yeah, that was the most enjoyable one of the loop for sure. The 2 others, like I just mentioned, lottery with very soft surface and full of stones everywhere. The second one, it's a bit more about driving. Still, it was again impressive to see how quick the time were coming again behind, but at least on this one there was some element of driving.
Talk to me about the way the car is feeling out there in these conditions, given the fact that we are rallying on very different surfaces between each stages. What's the feedback from the car?
Well, the car is okay. I'm happy. I have no complaint with my car.
Doesn't surprise me that he's not a gambling man. He doesn't strike me as one. I think everything is very calm, cool, and calculated for him.
Yeah, yes, I think it is particularly the final stage of the loop. We will see it this afternoon. It is a gamble, and Seb has been very honest there. It's a lottery. Adrian Fourmeau and Sami Pajari said it when they got to the end of the stage. They said, look, you can drive as fast or as slow as you want. You can't avoid all the rocks. And so that ultimately, you're in the lap of the gods to a certain degree, and I think Seb probably doesn't like that aspect of going rallying. He wants it to be a fair fight and doesn't want it to be in the lap of the gods in the way that it is, but ultimately that's how this sport works.
Yes.
You know, and it's gone his way in the past and it's gone against him in the past. We have to wait and see. I think for the 3 of them, they just need to survive the final stage, but like I said, you can drive as slow as you like. You can't avoid all the rocks, and there's plenty of them out there.
And that image that we saw, it was Martin Sess going through stage 3 yesterday. He's coming to the end of the stage and the rocks are just flying behind him, so that just changes the game for anybody else behind him, doesn't it? So you just can't account for what's going to happen. It is so incredible. And some enormous stages, one over 30, one just around the 25k as well. That's a lot to contend with. The temperature is very high. Tyres, everybody's taken the softs, apart from Ogier and Kalle, have taken one hard.
I would, based on what we saw yesterday and saving the hard compound tyre for tomorrow, if you want to use it, I would have been doing the same thing. We saw some delaminations with the hard compound tyre yesterday, and I don't think that you want, with so much at stake, that you want to be taking that risk. The soft compound tyre has, in the main, been very, very reliable, and there's not a huge performance gain. I think in terms of the actual outright pace, the hard's probably the one to be on, but in terms of performance gain, there's not a lot to be had between the soft and the hard compound tyre. That's going to change going into next year, but I think for me, the guys have made the right decision. Go with the soft, play it safe. There's so much at stake, so it doesn't really surprise me. And of course, there is that element of strategy for having the hards tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, another element to play with. All right, we've listened to the interviews of most of our drivers, so let's quickly squeeze in Kalle Rovanperä for you.
Kalle, looked like a great morning for you out there. Some fantastic times are closing in on Sebastian Ogier now. What's been the mindset from you this morning? Was it a case of just absolutely go for it without pushing too hard, obviously, because it's too rough for that?
Yeah, try to just be fast and avoid all the troubles. Really tough condition already first pass, only 4 cars in front of us and still a lot of surprises and loose stones. So, yeah, quite okay. Still closing up on the guys around us, so that was good.
And you do have to close up on quite a few of the guys in front to be able to be within shot of that time. How much is that in your mind?
Well, yeah, it's quite clear that it's cleaning a lot here. Every stage, even on the afternoon, it's cleaning a lot. So yeah, I just try to keep pushing. See, obviously the gaps in front are too big to close by driving, but we try to push and try to avoid all the issues and see how it goes.
Keeping the pressure on everybody in front, absolutely. Talk to me about your view of the stages this morning from the differences we saw out there.
Tricky character on the stage. It's really technical, especially the middle one. But a bit nicer to drive also on this kind of roads. But yeah, obviously still quite rough condition. Especially the last one of the loop will be really tough second pass.
There you go. Well, Kalle talking about those stages as well. Pretty much all the talking has been done now, hasn't it? It's time to see what they're going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said, and I think the guys can. Yesterday they couldn't really second guess it. Today they can a bit more. The first stage of the loop is going to be very soft, sandy, rutted. You will get the odd stones getting pulled out. The second stage much more consistent. That good level base to play with. Few nasty little kickers in there, but the third one, that's yeah, be afraid, be very afraid.
There we go. Well, just some sights and sounds from earlier as they ran through these stages this morning. Exactly the same loop. At least they have seen them, but it is going to be a different context of what they are. Let's just get you a schedule. Actually, we'll remind you of the times of the stages as well, because they come quite thick and fast as well. There's not much respite. We were talking about Elvin having that slow puncture. Well, he hardly had any gap between the stages to sort of have a look at what was going on with the cars. So here we'll just get that on your screens for you so you can have a look at the time. Set your clocks around the world accordingly, because that is what we are looking at in terms of the stages and their times. The 3 stages coming up for you. There we go, at 1:51 or so, at 2:47 and at 4 o'clock. No cheeky super special, which I'm sure the drivers will be glad of. An early night and into what is the new Super Sunday/Saturday with at least the points. It is the 10 points that will be up for grabs. That's the one thing. The day may change, but the points certainly do not.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very big day. Depending on what happens this afternoon, I think tomorrow's going to be a big day. Listen, can Toyota? They're going to win they won a manufacturer's title. They're going to win a drivers' championship title. Can they end the year with Sami Pajari taking a win, or can Oit Tanak and Adrian Formeau spoil the party of Hyundai, or can Martin Zest do it for M Sport? So exciting, Kiri, isn't it?
It is amazing. It is. Can you imagine for M Sport if that's the story? All right, tyre choice as well. We've got that. We'll pop that on the screens for you so you can just remind yourselves of that. Also, Toyota might need to clear a bit of space on their truck for all they put up every time someone wins, so clear all the space there. That's the hards that you can see. It is Sebastian Ogier there. I told you that. There we go. Scroll down, there we go.
Yeah, it's just Ogier and Rovanperä taking the hard compound tyre. Everywhere else it's soft across the board, and I get it. I think it's the wise decision. It's the smart and safe decision, and yeah, it's going to make it an even-ish fight out there. The other thing we've got to talk about very, very quickly as well is road position. Adrian Formeau, those cars that are running a little bit later on, who would normally have an advantage from road cleaning, actually now I think are going to have a bit of a disadvantage. Adrian, Sami, Martins and Oit have got to be very, very careful, because they're the ones who are going to have the biggest rocks pulled out. So they've just got to be very, very aware of that this afternoon.
There's the ones that could suffer. There is sort of a sweet spot. There is always a sweet spot, isn't there? And it's coming just in the middle, maybe 5 and 6 cars into the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen this morning. Certainly on that final stage, it was actually, ironically, around Elvin, Sebastian Ogier, Kalle Rovanperä where the sweet spot was. And then as more rocks got pulled out, the stage actually started to deteriorate and become more dangerous. We'll see that again.
All right, well, we are awaiting pictures for you. The plane in the sky charging towards that stage, as the cars are as well. So we'll get the pictures from the stage for you very, very shortly indeed. Can Elvin do it this afternoon? He's going to need to, isn't he?
It's so difficult to say. Look, the one thing he's got to do, his job is to get ahead of Gregoire Munster. That's what he has to do, Kiri.
Okay.
If he doesn't, he can go into tomorrow and he's made his job on Super Sunday / Saturday. Much more complicated. He's got to get ahead of Gregoire Munster. I can't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to do that based on the pace we've seen from Gregoire so far this weekend. Gregoire has been struggling. That's what Elvin's got to do. Sebastian Ogier's got to stay out of trouble. Kalirov and Perez, he's got to pull the trigger and continue to just go flat out, because he needs to get himself right up the leaderboard and have a belter of a day tomorrow if he stands any chance of winning this World Championship this year. It's absolutely doable, don't get me wrong, particularly here where we've heard all the drivers this afternoon saying it's a gamble, it's a lottery. It's definitely doable. And if Kalle can get through the afternoon, win some stages, close the gaps, get himself up the leaderboard, staying out of trouble, then he brings himself right into the fight going into tomorrow.
It's quite a fun place for Kalle to be in, actually, because he has absolutely nothing to lose. OK, all right, it's what we've been waiting for. The commentators are ready to bring you through the next 3 stages. Let's do it. Let's hand over.
Welcome to the afternoon here on Friday of Rally Saudi Arabia. We are watching 2 battles play out right now. The battle for the ultimate win between 4 drivers right now. 3 drivers who've never won a WRC event. And we're also watching the battle for the World Rally Championship title play out between Sebastian Ogier, Kalle Rovanperä and Elfyn Evans. There's a lot going on every single stage here, so we are keeping our eyes as closely on all of the action as we possibly can to bring it to you. It's been an interesting morning, and we head back into exactly the same stages this afternoon. Now, we've just had some information come in on this opening stage, which was incredibly sandy desert tracks making their way through the countryside here. We've had information coming in that the conditions are looking very good for the second pass. There are some ruts, as we would expect out there, but not as bad as some of the safety crews were expecting to see on second pass. We'll get, obviously, the driver's view on it when they head through, and Nasser Al-Attiyah and Candido Carrera will be first into the stage. Adrien Fourmeau is leading as we go into the afternoon, with Martin Sesks in second. Sami Pajari is in third.